Welcome back to Doing Time with Dan. I'm on location today at my friend Dominic Condo's house. Dom has a great blog. It's called Domskitchen.com. You want to jump on the internet, not right now, but in a few minutes when we're done with our interview. You want to go on the internet and check out Domskitchen.com. Dom shares some of his favorite recipes, and he has lots of pictures there of the food and all the stuff that he loves to cook in the kitchen, which is why we're here today, because we're going to do some cooking with Dom, and then we're going to do some eating. So let's talk to Dom about his blog. Dom, tell me now, what's the concept behind your blog?
The concept is to share traditional Italian-American recipes and the stories that go along with them. Everybody that has grown up eating this traditional Italian-American food, they're used to having this on Sundays, holidays, big family events, and there's always a fun story that goes along with them, and I share the recipes and the story on my blog. My wife and I are also full-time working parents, so I take these recipes and I try and modify them to make it easy to make during the week, whether you are doing them in bunches on the weekend or spreading it out during the week, so that you can always enjoy these true meals. Not fast food, it's real ingredients,
right,
real
it's
cooking.
good home cooking.
Good home cooking.
Right, which is good for your kids and everybody else. You know, you get in the habit of eating at home together. You know, it's a great family experience.
It's very important.
Right.
For us.
So now, what type of things inspired you to start your blog? I mean, you're talking about the Italian-American thing. I know you grew up in South Philly. So is this blog sort of an extension of that sort of cultural experience, as people today would call it?
It is. The big thing about those Italian recipes are there are no true recipes for them.
Okay.
I can't tell you how many times my grandmother has given me something, and Graham, can you tell me how you make it? And it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And that's sort of the way that I cook as well these days. Just a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Measuring just doesn't come into play.
Right.
What I've done is, when I've created the blog, the idea was to take these recipes and try and put them down on paper.
Okay.
Try and come up with a basic ingredient, and I encourage my readers to take them as a starting point and adjust them to their liking with their own taste. A little bit more of this, a little bit less of that. And it's also a way for me to share these recipes with my kids and have them understand the traditions.
Right. So your kids are helping you in the kitchen then?
They do.
Okay.
To a little, a certain extent. We don't have them doing anything too crazy.
Right.
One of the big things we like to do is make homemade pasta.
Okay.
Kids love playing with Play-Doh. Making homemade pasta is pretty similar to that.
That's a great idea, yeah.
And it's something that not only does it get them involved with cooking, but it encourages them to eat it as well. When you have little kids, if they're involved in doing it, they're going to want to eat it. They're going to want to brag about it. So it encourages them to eat healthier.
Right. No, that's a great point. Now, Dom, if I'm just some guy on the internet and I see your blog there, domskitchen.com, and I see this recipe now, do I need any fancy equipment in my kitchen?
No, I try and keep everything as simple as possible. Of course, I'm always buying little gadgets here and there because I like checking them out. But everything that I use is basic equipment. I mean, you may need a food processor or some things which nowadays are becoming more basic.
Right. Okay.
And I'll tell you in the beginning of the blog,
right.
You may need this or you may need that.
Okay.
But as far as equipment, ingredients, I try and keep it as simple as possible. That's
excellent.
One of the things that I always looked for when reading food magazines, watching it on TV. I find that ingredients that are sort of a little bit extraordinary, a little hard to find, it's a bit of a turn-off, especially, again, where, full-time working parents, we want to try and turn everything around, make it tasty, healthy, and fun, but you want to make it as simple as possible.
Yeah, that way it's more about the cooking and the eating. It's not like a treasure hunt or some type of ordeal.
Right.
You want to enjoy yourself.
Now, there are some ingredients that, a recipe may come up that I'll try, and it is a lot of fun to try it and to say you've had this. But the idea is to keep it as simple as possible. And, a little bit of spices, herbs here and there, you can really make a regular dish something special.
And take it up to the next level. Good. So, I love to eat, Dom. So today you've been doing some cooking. So tell me what's on the menu for today.
Well, today we're going to be sharing with you a traditional Italian-American Sunday meal. Of course, the crown jewel of the table is going to be the Sunday gravy.
Gotcha.
Which is opposed to a marinara sauce, which takes 5 minutes to prepare and about 20 minutes to heat up. A Sunday gravy, you're looking at a good 5 hours. And the big key difference is the meats that you're adding to it. Now, it's not just the meat sauce. The meats come into play because they flavor the gravy. Gotcha. The fats that are rendered from it. If you think about a traditional roast beef gravy, turkey gravy, it's the fat drippings that add the flavor.
Right.
When you're adding meatballs, sausage, pork, I know people who put pepperoni in their gravy,
Nice.
whatever, just to
Yeah.
flavor it up.
Sure.
It's the flavors that come in, it's the richness.
Right.
So that's going to be the main course.
Gotcha.
We're also going to add a green to the table. I always like to add some sort of a green vegetable, whether it's a broccoli rabe, escarole, spinach. Today we're going to do Swiss chard, and we're going to add a little bit of bacon to it. I understand you like
we
bacon.
love bacon.
So we're going to do that. We're also going to put out a polenta, which is a very easy dish. You find it all over the place now. Polenta started off as peasant food years ago. My ancestors survived on that.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And now it's a specialty.
Gotcha.
So it's one of these things that we put out all the time. Quick appetizer. You can do it outside on the grill in the summertime. We'll do it inside today. And we're also going to do a little bit of eggplant. Eggplant is a big dish in our house.
Nice.
It's something that I can get my kids to eat. We always bread them and bake them.
Okay.
I'm big on baking instead of frying.
I gotcha.
We'll bake cutlets and start with that. My wife and I will add it to a sandwich with some broccoli rabe, peppers. Greatest sandwich in the world if you ask me.
Yeah, sounds good to me,
Yeah.
Dom.
But my kids will eat the cutlets.
Oh,
You know,
that's good, yeah.
They'll love them, and it's a vegetable, and they don't realize it.
Yeah, sneak it right in there.
Yes, so I'll show you what the cutlets look like, how I prepare them, and we're actually going to have it the classic eggplant parmesan.
Sounds good. All right, we're going to head over to the kitchen, let Dom do some cooking, then we'll be back here at the table. Stay tuned. Okay, I'm in the kitchen with Dom. We're in handheld mode because Dom's kitchen's a little bit small, which is just like your kitchen at home. So we're going to see what he's got on offer right now. He's been, I don't know, doing all kind of stuff. Dom, tell me, what's in the oven right now?
Well, we're wrapping everything up. We're getting ready to eat. Big trick is timing everything. So what we have in the oven here, we have an eggplant parmesan, which I use a smaller tray. I find it's easier to use for families, smaller families during the week. If you want to do a bigger platter, you could. This eggplant parmesan is made up using eggplant cutlets that I have here. This is what I was talking to you about before. We fry these up. We actually bake them in the oven, but we pour some oil so it does have a bit of a fried taste to it. My kids will eat these as is. We use these in sandwiches, and this is also the basis to the eggplant parmesan. I also have some baked meatballs in here, which traditionally would have been fried. I prefer baking for health reasons, and also because 45 minutes in the oven as opposed to standing on top of the stove buys me 45 minutes to do whatever else I want, you know, for that amount of time.
Sure.
It's a time saver, and again, it's a little bit healthier. Now, the meatballs that are in our pot of gravy here would have gone in much earlier today because it's the meat that flavors the gravy. But traditional Sunday Italian mode, you eat breakfast and you eat dinner and you graze the entire time in between, and the fried or the baked meatballs is part of that. You have a dish out, you're walking by, you grab a meatball, you may want to grab a piece of cheese, olives. These are all the things that we keep out during the day.
Right.
That we could just pick on. And of course, you have, as I referred to before, the crown jewel, the pot of gravy.
Yeah, let's take a look at that pot of gravy.
Now you have meatballs, I have sausage, and I have pork in here. So you're getting 3 different types of flavors. And the reason why I'm holding this bread is this is the traditional Sunday spoon. Of course, you do want to stir it with a true spoon, but you don't want to be tasting off of that. The fun part is you get a little dip. You're good to go.
Oh, man. I'm nothing but jealous, Dom.
We're going to add some Swiss chard, which is the green of the day. I like to do different greens on Sundays with my meals just to get a little bit of vitamins and minerals with all of the meat. This is a quick thing you can do on the stove. I added some onion, some garlic. We did a little bit of bacon in here as well for some flavoring. And Swiss chard is similar to spinach in texture. It's not as wilty. It will wilt down. We added some chicken broth to it as well for some flavor. You can do white wine if you want to. But we decided to go with chicken broth. I like the flavor that it gives, and the bacon will give a little extra kick to it, which I know you like.
That's
bacon,
right.
so.
Doing time with Dan, we love bacon.
Yes, and this is only a 5-minute dish here, and it's a delicious thing. I enjoy it. Once I have it, I can make a meal out of this with bread alone, to be honest with you. But it's a good side dish to your pastas. You can do the same treatment with the broccoli rabe. You might want to boil that first because it's a little more tough.
Right, yeah. It's got a little more fiber to it.
Yes. Different greens, Italian greens are always fun to work with. Escarole's fun. Escarole's very flexible, so I'll use that to wrap around sausage, make little sausage balls, little escarole around it. Scutole, as we say in South Philly. My mom uses that. That's a big ingredient in scutole soup, Italian wedding soup, holiday soup. We call it scutole soup.
So Dom, tell me something. We have a lot of dishes now. For a Sunday dinner, would all of these show up at the table at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, this is a bit of a special event dinner. We'll do this when we have a lot of family over. We don't make this much for ourselves in one day. We'll make a lot of food on a Sunday to spread out during the week. Again, my wife and I are full-time working parents. We take advantage of the day. But when we do make a big meal like this, we'll put it out family style. We don't do servings. It's less time for us to have to get up and serve. We enjoy sitting down with the family, wine, bread, food, just sit down, talk, and have a good time, which I'm looking forward to do as soon as we get this.
That's the part I'm looking forward to.
Yes. And this is a red Swiss chard, so you're getting a little bit of a red color in there. The difference between this and green Swiss chard, as far as I know, is just the red.
Just the color.
Just the color. It does add a little bit of like a crazy little purple in there. I don't know if you're picking that up, but the taste is phenomenal. This is something you could put on top of sandwiches.
Sure, it's a real kicker, you know, both in texture and color and everything. Really makes the food appealing.
Yes, and you can see it's not fading at all. You're getting a nice vibrant green in here.
Right.
And this is just about done. I'd say we're pretty much ready to go with this. And you can drain off some of this liquid when it's done so it doesn't get too wilty.
Right.
You good to go?
I'm looking forward to it, Dom.
Okay.
We'll be right back, and pretty soon we'll be setting the table.
Sounds good.
Here you have a typical Sunday dinner from Dom's Kitchen. You have the pasta, the Swiss chard with the bacon, don't forget that. Then you have the meatballs, sausage, some extra pork in there for great flavor, and of course, some nice wine. All right, Dom's been cooking all day in the kitchen, and now it's my favorite part of the day. That's right, it's time to eat. Dom, I want to thank you for cooking this great meal.
Oh, my pleasure, Dan. It was great to have you, and
All right.
look forward to having you back and sharing many more meals with you.
Oh, you hear that? I got an invitation to come back and enjoy all this one more time. And Dom's blog, one more time, is called domskitchen.com. Domskitchen.com, great recipes, local Italian lore, and all the good stuff you love to eat. Dom, how about a glass of wine?
Absolutely.
All right. Don't forget the good wine here at Doing Time with Dan. All right, cheers, Dom.
Salute.
Salud. Salud.